Yeah, so now it is audible, right? Just a second, I'm just checking. Okay, so I hope I'm audible now. Yeah, I'm audible, right? All right. So let's get started. Just a second. Okay. So we'll be discussing about the genes and alleles mainly in this sessions. Okay. So it is basically genetics. So meanwhile, I'll start with the genes and alleles. Okay. Then we'll see what all different things that are there with respect to the genetics. So there is Mendelian's law and all. So that we need to discuss. Okay. So before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. Hi Mayank. Good evening. So yeah, so I'm Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I'm an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. So for homework and class notes, you can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 biology and the Unacademy channel, or that is ICSE and ISC both channel. So this you can find the link for the same you can find in the description. So go to the description and find this link. So click on the link and join the channel for updates regarding the classes again. So my voice is low today. Little, that is because of the cold that I have. Okay, so then we also conduct special classes. Hi Shubhadeep, good evening. So you can learn from your favorite educator for free. Engage with educators via poll. So we'll be conducting a quiz so you can participate. At the end of the quiz, we'll be sharing the leaderboard so that you can know your rank and compete with your friends. And other than that, clear your doubts in the live special class. So there is a question tab where you have an option to attach an image and send it to the educator during a live session. So they'll be getting a notification that the learner has asked a doubt and will be clearing your doubt. So this is for the top special classes. Again, you can find the link in the description for the special classes. So those who haven't downloaded the Unacademy Learner app, so you can download it now and start taking up the special classes which are done, because again different educators will come up with their own theme for to conduct the a special class. So basically the quizzes will be conducted or certain topics will be covered, but here yes, in special classes certain percentage of topics will be covered. The plus classes, so there is 100% syllabus covering will be done. So this is about the Unacademy subscription features, so that is plus classes. And here you can see complete syllabus. I'm sorry. Yeah, so complete syllabus will be done. So complete syllabus, that is exhaustive coverage of a syllabus, is the main feature. So here only certain percentages covered. Okay, and other than that, yes, so this option is there, so you can learn live from the comfort of your home. Unlimited access to all the courses will be there. Like different educators will come up with their own course, so you will have access to their course with the, like once you take the subscription. So my referral code right now, it is basically Vani YT. So you can use this code to get 10% discount on the subscription. So here, you will have access to all the courses. Then top educators of India are going to take the classes in one platform. So that is Unacademy platform. Regular doubt clearing session will be done. So that is after about every 3 session. The fourth session will be a doubt clearing session. Okay. So whatever doubt you have about the topics that are previously covered, so you can clear your doubt in this doubt clearing session. Then complete syllabus will be covered. Mentorship and guidance is given. Study material is given, which can be given in the form of a PDF format itself. Then practice tests, live test series are given, and along with that you will have access to batch courses. So now we have a batch in English, we have a batch in Hindi. So once you take the subscription, so you will have access to all the batches. Now depending on your preference, you can either go for English batch or a English batch. Okay, so this is anyway with subscription you will have access to all of this. Then there is daily practice section is there. Weekly, if you have seen the tests that are conducted, so there are analysis tests that are done, and that is basically scholar test series what we are conducting right now, so on a weekly basis. So there you can take part in those tests, and for that analysis is also done. If you have any doubt, so we'll be clarifying your doubts as well. So this is about the weekly mock test. Live quizzes will be conducted. So since the theme of till 15, the theme of my biology classes was basically a practice quiz where I was conducting a quiz. Okay, so this way you will have the quizzes conducted on a daily basis by the different educators. Then other than that, there is daily MCQ and subjective test series are there. So this access you will have once you take the subscription. So for that, basically you can use the code VANIYT to get 10% discount on the subscription. So this is the code VANIYT, and you can have a look at the cost of this. So this is basically an Academy Plus subscription plans at affordable price for class 10. So now I usually suggest 12 months of subscription, because once you subscribe for 12 months, so you are getting a free subscription of, like, now you are in 10, so you will be getting free subscription for class 11 as well as 12. So in the meanwhile you can also prepare for the class 11 and 12. Okay, so based on that you can go for that, or if not, so if you just want to try like how exactly this works, so you can even try with 3 months of subscription, or if you are convenient, so maybe you can go for 6 or I'm really sorry today. So 6 and 9 months of subscription is also available, and you can see for 12 months it is 17,250. So earlier it was even more lesser. Okay, and now for 12 months it is 17,250, and the referral code is Vani YT to get 10% discount or 10% off on the subscription. So this is per month it will show you the value, like for per month in case of 12 months, so you will be paying 1438 per month. So if you are going for higher months, so mainly you can see 24 months, so it is basically 1198. So as you go for higher subscription, the cost is also getting reduced, so that is per month on a monthly basis. And this is the code where you need to apply here in the gift box. So there is a reduction in the, amount that can be seen, so that is Vani YT to get 10% discount on the subscription. All right, so shall we start with the gene and genetics? So basically genes and alleles will be discussing about, so that is from the genetics. Okay, just a second. Yeah, it is still writing. Okay, am I audible? Okay. So here the inheritance, so genetics when we mention, so basically what exactly is happening, so we can see some similar features of the parents, so that are seen in even in a child. Okay, so that means the genes are flowing, that is from the parental generation to the next generation, and because of that gene itself, so there is, the similarity what we see between the parents and the child, or you can see some morphological things, so that is just the external appearance variation might be there, so there is slight variation which is found because it is a combination of a gene that is occurring from a father as well as a mother, so that slight variation is also there. Okay, so similarities is there and the differences are also there, so they are not completely identical but they are similar. So inheritance is basically passing of character trait, that is from parents to the progeny, so that is from one generation to the next. So in that case the process is called as the heredity, so that is passing of character which is seen, and inheritance is studied by the branch of genetics. So now though the progeny has major characteristics of this species, so there are slight differences from the parent, so it is not completely identical to a parent, so it is similar, and there is a variation, so there is basically slight difference you can find between the child and between the parents. So that slight difference, what is this, that itself we call as a variation, so they are not completely different, so there is a slight difference that is seen. So now chromosomes and genes, so what exactly is this one now? So you can see there is a nucleus mentioned, all right, so then there is a chromosome and here is the gene. So so now inside this nucleus, so this is, this is a nuclear envelope, so you can see outer membrane, inner membrane, so this is there, so outer membrane and the inner membrane is seen where they are fused together like this, so you can see the membranes that are fused, the outer membrane has fused with the inner membrane. Okay, so this is a nuclear envelope and this gap is what? So this one is the nuclear pore. Alright, so now inside this itself the chromatin fiber is present randomly, and here you can find a nucleolus. So now this chromatin fiber, what is that? So chromatin fiber is the one that is condensing. So this will start to condense and it will start to arrange itself as a chromosome. So now this thread is, it is condensing. So it is condensing. Now it will, the thread itself will start to coil and it will start to supercoil. Just a second. Cursor is not visible. Let me just check this. Yeah. So now what happens is, so basically you can see that this chromatin fiber which is there, so this will start to coil, then there is supercoiling, again there is coiling, supercoiling. So this way you can see the coiling and supercoiling of the structure. Okay, so now once that coiling and supercoiling is done, so this is further, again there is coiling, so supercoiling that can be seen, so this is forming the chromosome structure there. Okay, so this is forming the chromosome structure. So based on that, so now this is the chromosome structure. All right, so this is have, there is a condensation, so it is forming a chromatid like this, so there is a chromatid formation that is seen. So how exactly? So that is by condensation. So what is condensation? So there is a coiling and supercoiling, and it is forming a chromatid. So on the whole, the chromosome formation is seen. Okay, so genes are carried within the chromosome. So why? That is because it is having a DNA. So now let's say I'm just trying to pull out a thread from this. So that is, I just try to pull out a thread from this particular condensed structure. So this one is actually a DNA, that is a chromatin fiber. Now what exactly is chromatin fiber? So it is, nucleosome model itself. So in that case, the histone protein is there. Alright. So this histone protein is basically, it is coiled by the DNA. So as such, this is we call as a nucleosome model. Okay. So now in that case, what is happening? So there is one more histone protein. So let's draw one more histone protein here. So this is the histone protein again. So repetitive units of histone protein you can find, and then you can see a DNA is coiled around that. So that means there is a nucleosome. So this is a nucleosome. So many such nucleosomes are together. So that we call as a chromatin fiber. So here only two. So more than 10 units, more than 50 units. So many nucleosomes models are there. So that is a chromatin fiber. Okay. So in that case, the chromatin fiber itself is coiling. So that itself is supercoiling. So in that case, DNA is there. So if a DNA is there, so now this is the DNA. Okay. So let's say this part, we say this is the DNA. This part is DNA. Here the one which is coiled, so that is also DNA. So now here in this case, out of this whole length of this DNA, so only a specific part. So let's say this part. Okay. So this part is the gene. So this is a specific sequence. What is there? So that is a gene which is responsible for expression of a character height in case of a human, if we mention. Now some will go taller, like some will grow taller, some will go dwarfer, that is shorter. So that is depending on the gene, like how it is expressing. So if it is expressing itself, the tall gene is expressing itself, the individual will be taller, or otherwise the individual is going to be shorter. So now this is going to vary. So it can be for height or eye color. Yeah. So height, eye color, or even the complexion. So anything it can be basically. Alright. So now based on that, so you can see the genes which are present in the chromosomes, and genes are the segments of a DNA. So that is a DNA segment itself. So there are thousands of genes that you can find. So what are those thousands of genes? So those thousands of genes are actually responsible for expression of a different characters. Okay, so there are 23 pairs, so that is 46 chromosomes you can find in a human cell. So that is 23 pairs, like overall it is 46 chromosomes are found. Now genes are the units of inheritance. So whenever genes are there, so you can find the inheritance pattern. Now gene code for the contrasting traits called as alleles. Okay, so in that case there is a gene, and this gene when we mention, so this is having a pair of contrasting traits which will be expressing for it. So alternative forms of a genes are alleles. Okay, so there are alleles, and these alleles are the ones which are responsible for expression of the traits. So now if we mention, so this gene is responsible for the character height. So now there are two traits you can find in a character. Okay, so one is the allele, one of the allele is expressing for the tall trait. All right, the other allele is expressing for the dwarf trait, that is short one. Okay, so now based on that, so gene is responsible for expression of a character, where the alleles which are there, that is the alternative forms of a genes, so those will be expressing in a gene under the gene. So that is responsible for the expression of a trait. So that trait can be So it can be dwarf or a tall. So this is just an example that I have taken for a height. Okay. So this can vary for eye color. So some will have a green color. I mean, mainly the black color or brown colored eye. So that is also possible. So allele is expressing. Okay. So now among these alleles, so the one which is expressing itself. So that means now in individuals you can see the black colored eye more, so that is a dominant allele. So you cannot see much of blue color and green color, so in that case it is a recessive one. So the one which is expressing itself, so that we call as a dominant allele, while the other one is not expressing itself much, and that we call as a recessive allele. All right. So now we know in a homozygous plant, so that is alleles when they are there. So these alleles are similar, so that is TT or a TT, and a heterozygous plant, so they are dissimilar. So now this is a homozygous condition, this is a homozygous condition. So this is all homo, because both of the alleles of a gene what are there, so they are same. So this one is what, this is heterozygous, because you can see one of it is expressing for the tall, the other is expressing for the dwarf. So that means it is a heterozygous. So two different conditions you can see in there. All right. Okay, so now so Mendel called these visible characters as phenotype. That is, the visible characters are the ones which are expressed. So that is called as a phenotype, and the genetic makeup. So that is basically, the genes which is present in an organism. So that is based on the DNA. So that is called as a genotype. Okay. So now out of the two alleles we just discussed, there is a dominant allele and then there is a recessive allele, which is actually a alternative form of a gene itself, which will occupy the same position on the homologous chromosome. So in that case you can see now this is a homologous chromosome. So you can see A and A there. So there is B and B, so which is basically again the genes are found. So then there is C and C is found, D and D. So that is here, it is supposed to be depending on a type. So it can either be recessive gene that might be present, or the dominant also that might be present. So now based on that the expression is gonna occur. So now both of these are present, so this is going to express itself. So here also both of these are present, this is going to express itself. Here both of them are shorter, so this will be expressing, both of them will be expressing themselves. Here both of them will be expressing themselves because they are in a homozygous condition. Okay. So A is homozygous, B is homozygous, C and DT are heterozygous, which are dissimilar pairs. So chromosome as a whole can either be dominant or non-recessive. So it is the gene which is expressing. So that is the one which is showing a different characteristics based on the type of a gene that is present, or an allele which is a dominant or a recessive one. So this one we discussed, so which is called as a homozygous dominant and a heterozygous dominant there. So genotype is set of genes present in the cell of an organism, and here these are the visible character or the observable characteristics, which is again genetically controlled. So in that case the homozygous is a pair with the RR is mentioned, and a heterozygous dominant is the pair with RR. So homozygous dominant, heterozygous dominant it is. So homozygous recessive is this one. Okay. So this is homozygous recessive. So there is no heterozygous recessive as such, because we cannot see, the recessive genes are not expressing themselves when they are in a heterozygous condition. So they are going to express only when they are in a homozygous condition. So you can see their expression. So they'll express only when they are in a homozygous condition. Heterozygous condition, the recessive genes are not expressing, and that's the reason heterozygous recessive we are not discussing. So first geneticist or father of genetics is De Vries Mendel, Darwin Morgan. Any idea? So it is basically Mendel is one who is called as a father of genetics because he has come up with the idea of factors which he, for genes only he called it as a factor, as there was no knowledge on the genetics. So he is the one who initiated the study, and much more contribution in the field of genetics was given by Mendel. So an individual with identical alleles is, so an individual is there and he is having an identical allele. So it is hybrid, it is dominant, it is homozygous, and it is heterozygous. So what is that identical allele? So this can be this can be this, or this can be this can be this. Okay, so or this can be this, or this can be this, any of them identical alleles are found. So it is called as a homozygous. So any character, so tall, dwarf, or this can be for the eye color, or this can be for tongue rolling. So anything that is there, so if both are same, so that is a homozygous. So allele which is unable to express its effect in the presence of another, so that is called as dominant, supplementary, complementary, and recessive. So the one which is unable to express itself when the other one, so when the dominant is present, there is a allele which is not expressing itself, and that allele is a recessive allele. So this is the right answer. An organism with two unlike genes of a trait is called homozygous, heterozygous. Both of these and none of these. So two unlike genes. Not this is not the case. This is the case. Okay. So in that case, what do we call this? All right. So this is the condition. So now what do we call this a condition? So this is a heterozygous condition because two of the alleles of a gene are not like, they are unlike. So this is the example which is mentioned. So that is with respect to tongue rolling. So parent male who is there, so he is a roller, a homozygous roller. The female who is there, so she is a heterozygous roller. So in that case, one you can find homozygous dominant, homozygous dominant. So all of them are rollers. That is a heterozygous dominant. So now based on that. So now homozygous dominant is there, heterozygous dominant is there. So which is basically they are dominant. That means they are expressing. Now if these recessive genes are coming together, so in that when this is the case, when these two genes come together, so in that case it can be a non-roller, or otherwise until and unless there is a dominant gene expressing itself, so they all will be roller. So only in a recessive condition, when two of the recessive alleles are coming together, so that is a homozygous condition like this. So that is gonna be a non-roller one. Okay, so the color patches that are visible on cows and horses are an example of a codominance. So these animals, popularly called roan, have two dominant alleles related to the color pigmentation. So this is also very visible in flowers such as rhododendrons. In some plant, the parental color patches may show up in different parts of the plant. So now so there is the allele, the black color is also dominant, the white color is also dominant, so that is called as a codominance. Okay, so that means this is also expressing itself, this is also expressing itself, so there is no separation, and that is mentioned as a codominance. So that is why some of the cows what you see, so they are having the dominant feature, I mean there is a black color as well as the the white color expression that can be seen. Okay, so because I have one more session to go now, so I'll just end this session. So before that, we have a gladiators batch, which is all subject batch, and the mode of delivery is English here. So PCMB subjects are covered. So if you are subscribing for class 10, so you will be getting class 11 and 12 subscription absolutely free. Introducing community, so never miss on any update from your favorite educator. All right, So get session notes and practice material, so that is in the community. Share your feedback directly with the educator via poll. So that means we'll be conducting a quiz as well. So Bucks Bounty, so this is opportunity for all learners to report any inappropriate content in the video. So be the first one to report a particular issue to claim your prize. Report any inappropriate content using the form in the description. Okay, so see you all in the next session. So this is subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy ICSE and ISC boards. Click on bell icon to get notified about the session. Like and share the video and download the Unacademy Learner app now. So see you all in the next session. So next session is tomorrow again. So that is at I'll just tell you the timing. So 6:30 to 7:30 is the session timing tomorrow for class 10. For class 9 it is 2:45 to 3:45. Okay. All right then. So see you all in the next session. Bye bye everyone.